Okay, let's start. So continuing from the thing, right? So we are almost 75% done with our interview questions for Python. Right, so what is this? The problem is based on popular game Bulls and Cows. Suppose you and your friend are playing the game. In this game, you need to write down a secret number and make your friend guess the number, okay? Total number of digit in the guess number whose position in that number matches the position of the same digit in the secret number. The total is known as counts of bulls. Okay, total number of digits in the guess number whose position matches the position of the same digit. Total number of digit. Okay, so just the digit count. Okay, does not match. It's known as cows. Okay, so you suppose the secret number is 1807 and your friend guesses this, right? So that will be what bulls. We need to create a function that takes two parameters, secret number, and then the guess in string format. Initialize bulls and cows to store the number of bulls and cows. Loop from 0 to the length of the secret number, and within each loop check if the digit in secret and then the guess at the same index are equal or not. If it is, we increment it. Okay, check if the secret and digits. Okay, so among them we have to check. Okay, let's see. So we need to create, but why is the output like that? 1a 3b. Okay, so for I in range 0 comma length of secret, if the digits are at same index in the secret and guess are equal, increment bulls. Okay, so if the digits same index, okay, secret, and then I equals secret, and then no guess, we need to increase it by what, 1, else what? So if the current secret is in the guess, so current secret high in guess, we increment it by +1, I guess. Right, check code. What happened? Print the number of bulls in the required format. What is that? F string, that's it. Bulls. What is the other one? Cows. And B maybe. Right, let's check the code. Great, it works just fine. What about the solution? I just want to check if our print is similar or not. Yeah, it's just the same thing. Right. So it just means that, you know, the index of both of them, if it is same, it's a bull kind of thing, right? And if it is not the same, but it is still in the guess, yeah, right, that means it's a cow. Okay, even though I don't see it to be a awesome kind of game, I can still get rid of it, right? Just about problem solving, that's it. So given a non-empty string name, find the minimum number of characters needed to make palindrome. For example, PSP. So in order to make a name a palindrome, we need to add two characters EO before yeah, XYZ. We need to add YZ, right? So it should output 2. Okay. Thought process: define the string variable, counter variable, run a while loop as long as the length of the string is greater than 0, right? And then compare original string with the reverse to check if the string is palindrome or not. Otherwise, what do? We keep on trying to make it. We break it, otherwise we update the string by deleting last character from the string and increasing the count. Let's see. While length of what string is greater than 0, so if string is palindrome, right, string equals string -1, right? So of course we will need to do something over here, right? And else add 1 to the counter and remove last letter. Okay, good one, I guess. Right, so what do? String equals to, of course, that's the base case, right? Otherwise it will be an infinite loop, that's for sure. And then counter, we will need to add what with the counter as well, right? So we will need to remove the last value. String dot remove what? Length. Length of string -1, I guess, right? Because this will be 3, so -1. We'll remove E, and then it will add the counter plus equals 1. So that means when we remove that, it's still not a palindrome, right? So it will come over here, it will remove O, and then everything else. What happens now? The string is Z, its reverse is also Z, right? So it basically solves it, right? And then we need to print the counter. It's not like we need to find what the character is, just the count of it, right? So basically, if it is already, suppose we have a letter called AAA, right? So if this will break immediately. Suppose if we have A and A but O at the middle, it will not break, right? So it will remove the last one, and then it will do its job. Has no attribute, remove. Okay, string will be not inclusive of -1, right? That's it. Great, completed. What about this? Let's find the smallest integer and print it. Not a big deal for us. Sort. Okay, lst dot sort. Right, list is sorted. Look through the list to enumerate so we can get the key value. Okay, for key value in enumerate lst. Okay, we need to check if the current index, right? lstk equals lstk plus 1, right? Okay, otherwise what do we do? If it does not return the value after adding 1 to the current element, return this thing, right? So in this situation, what happens? When we sort it, I think it'll be 0, -1, 0, 1, right? So I think -1 will be the answer for this. What is this? Expected output is 3. What the hell? We need to find the smallest missing integer. I misinterpreted it. Find smallest missing number. So from the list. Okay. But we sorted it. Feast of all. Worst FI RST. Loop through the list using enumerate so that we can get the index and element. Okay. Adding 1 to the counter mix. The new element. Okay. So this will give us the value plus 1, so it should be a little bit different. Okay, so it should be what, it should be uh, k plus 1. Okay, so basically it's incrementing by 1, nah? That's why output is 0. Why is that? Why is that? It's going to go that and then 1, so it's going to just print out 0 every time. It's not going to make sense. This will be 0, 0 plus 1 is not equals to same, right? Why not simply compare? Why do we need this if we are enumerating, right? Just v plus 1, that's it, isn't it? The hell? Okay, smallest missing number, right? So we will need to break somewhere. We will have to see. So it will have to loop over everything else, and then if it is missing, then we will have to do that, right? So what? Okay, plus 1. Can't we simply do that by adding 1 to the current element? Okay. 1 to the current element makes the next element. Yep, that's correct. Right. So -1 is there. -1 plus 1 will make it 0. Right. So it will have to be like this, I guess, right? Because we want to loop over the next element plus 1, and then it has to be like that. So -1 key is what, 0 plus 1 will be 1, that will be 0, and this thing is what, uh, that thing will be -1 plus 1, that will be 0, Next iteration it's 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. All right, this will be 2, and then this will be 2 plus 1, 0, 0, 1, and then 0, 1, 2. Okay, works in my opinion. uh, 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 yep. So 0 and then 0, right? So 0 plus 1 will be 0, and then that will be minus 1 plus 1 will be 0. Next iteration it's 0, right? The value is 0, its index is 1. So 1 plus 1 will be what? It'll be 2, right? And this thing is still 1, so we are just checking for it. Yeah, that just makes sense. Or we could have just done v as well. That's fine over here. V also should work. That's what I was thinking in my mind. Okay, did not even need enumerate. Enumerate is required because we will need key, right? Key is required. Okay, so from a list of size n, find the kth largest element where k is less than n. Right, so we've got this list. So k is 3. Why is that? Kth element is largest where k is less than n. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Third largest element in the list. Okay, so it just wants us to find the third largest, or whatever the k is basically. So we might be given numbers and k, right? So the only case that we need to handle for this is repetitive numbers. That's it. We assume all the elements in the number are distinct from each other. The given array is an unsorted array and k is less than n. Of course it has to be less than n, otherwise it will be an index error, of course, right? So what? Set. Okay, and then we convert it back into list, and then after that we just get it. Times we need to remove the max element. Okay, would be k minus 1 loop timer. Yeah, length or k minus 1. Okay, we can use recursive function to find the largest number. So we can sort the list, find the element at the required index to find the largest one. Approach would be to remove maximum element k minus 1 times. Remaining max element is the kth largest element. Yep, because we are removing the max element each time. Right, let's move on. Loop timer is k minus 1. Mm, 3 times, so 2 times we are planning to run the loop, right? So loop not equals to 0, right? So keeping only unique element in the list, we make it into a set first. So nums list, we are given that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So everything is unique in this regard. So 6, that means we will only be looping for what? K minus 1. So that's just 2 times, because in the kth term it will be the largest, right? Because when we remove 6 and 5, right, so 4 is the largest one, right? So our expected answer is 4. We already know that. That's why we are doing k minus 1 over here. Okay, so current maximum is basically max, right? It's the similar problem that we had done earlier. So max of unique numbers, and unique numbers then simply remove the max twice. Okay, this can be done in a simpler way as well, but hey, let's use while loop, right? Loop counter will be what? Plus equals, I mean, it will be decrement, right? So minus equals to loop time mer. I missed the r over there by 1. Next iteration it'll just be 1, and then uh, right, so it's 2 at the beginning. Next iteration it'll be 1, and then next iteration it'll just be 0. All right, so kth largest item is what? Largest item will be, once we remove everything, right? So max of this thing, unique number, because the only thing that will be remaining is itself, right? Yep, because what happens is when we remove 6 and 5, right, so the loop will run for what? We want kth large number is 3, right? So we want the third largest, so of course we should only remove 2 numbers, so that means we need to do 3 minus 1, 2, right? In the first loop we remove 6, in the second loop we remove uh, 5, right? So 2 minus 1, once we get the remove this, 2 minus 1 will be 1. When we remove this, what 2 minus, I mean 1 minus 1 will be 0, hence this loop won't run, right? Then after that, what do? We only have the kth large number remaining, of course, right? Hence we get that kth large number. That's it, simple as that. Find the target element, so find the first and last occurrence. Okay, not a big deal. Reversal, I guess. Enumerate. We need to check the value. First variable is none. Check if the value of the first variable is none. If it is none, update the value, right, with the current index. Means first time the target element has been found. Okay, we can return a tuple of first and last variable. Okay, great. So we initialize the first and last index, so it will be 0, I mean none. Let's just do it none, right? That's a data type that we want to use. Loop through the list. Of course we will need k comma v in enumerate number list. And so if the target element is found, so if v equals target element, right? So if it is target element, and then we need to check if first equals okay, if it equals none, of course, right? So we need to set it plus equals to 1. What do we need? We need to return the index, right? and then set the last index to the current index every time the target thing is found, right? So in that situation, we simply do, so since we are already looking over there, right, so we will go into last. So first and last could be same as well, right, given the situation. It should not be none. If it is not none, but we need to set it as well, no? So for the last one, we can simply do that, isn't it? Because we already checked for the condition where we know, but what, why am I doing one? This should be k. This should be k as well. Okay. Then we need to just give our tuple, isn't it? Tuple of first comma last. That's it, right? The only thing that I need to ensure is if it is in the target, right? So now we are looping over it, and if it is not none, equals to none, we set it in the first. That's done. Next is like we don't need to check for anything else. All right, so every time it's found, right, we simply update the last. Oh, why am I even doing plus? Right, it has just has to be equals. That's it. What happened? Just to equals to. That's it. All right, that's how we can solve it. Sum of two elements. Target value is 7, and then among them, which of them will be thing 7? Mean adding two element a plus b will result in t, so t minus a okay, and then we can simply check if this exists in the list or not. Basically, that means the current element and the difference can make a sum. Okay, that's what it's trying to do. Okay, great. Temp list initialize the element to avoid duplicate. Okay, and I in temp list, right, just making it into a set, and then let's just make it back into a list as well. Then if let's see, target target target, what is that? Target, right? So if target, I'm not so sure about the thing, so let's just say to avoid duplicate. Okay, append what the current element, right? So if target minus I, right, so let's just do this as a number, right, number, and then so this minus I equals to something, right? So that should be in what is in temporary list. I'm just not sure about it, huh? But why would you add the current element to the temp list? If you are making it into a set, right, we want something like that. Okay, let's see over here. Okay, target minus current element is in temporary list, but what would we do? Okay, we simply okay, I got it. What the hell? All my progress is gone. Oh my god. Right, so we don't need to. I thought like we were storing it over there, but that's not required, right? Add the current element to the temporary list. Why would you add it, man? Does not make sense. Right, so for I in temp list, just does not make sense. That's the only part that does not make sense, right? So target minus I in, if it is in the temp list, right? If it is in the temp list, the I is already in the temp list. Why would you want to add it? That's my only concern, right? Anyways, I don't care about that, right? So target I minus 1 is over there. That means, so if it is 7, so we are at the beginning, so 1 plus 6, right? So target is 7 minus 1 will be 6, so it's there. And that means we need to print like f string kind of thing. Seems like it. I and then space and then what? If it is over there, then we simply need that, right? But why would you want to add it to the list? I just don't want to do it. What the hell? 2 2 2 2 2. Why are you giving me 2 3 4 5 6? 2 and 5 will also make sense. uh, I don't know, maybe this is just numbers, not the temp list that we need to loop through. Okay, check code, but still it does not make sense. 6 3 plus 4 will also be 7. 2 plus 5 will also be 7. Okay, then what else? Because looking at this, everything will be somewhat same. Let's just copy it. Let's go through the thought process. Just need to see the solution when. Okay, it will be blank, huh? It will be blank. Ooh, it will be blank. Okay, we are looping through it. Temp list. Okay. So, okay, that's why. So it's just like we are not duplicate doing it again. That's all. That's all. right? Everything else is the same thing. It just has to be other way around. Yep. 6, and then we just need I, right? So that like, okay, so that like we've got an empty list, right? So once we know the combination of it, we add it to the list, right? And then after that, what? We add it to the list, and we are not checking it in numbers, but we are checking it in temporary list, right? Just to see whether it's been duplicated or not. That's it. Okay, suppose we have an integer list where all the elements of the list represent a number. Find the resulting value by adding 1 to the number. Okay, 1 2 2 4, and there will be a new list that we need to add. Okay, not a big deal. What process is what? uh what is this? This will generate a carry, right? So we will need to add carry to the second last. Carry is also 9. It will have to carry again, so we need to repeat the process. So access the last element, add 1 to it, find the carry after addition, perform floor division to this number by the number 10, and then the remainder is, then we find the remainder by dividing the sum by 10, and then assigning it to the next element, and then looping through each of them. Okay, and then finally we return the list. Okay, so increase number represented by list, so 899, right? So we will have to do what? One will be added, one will be added, one will be added, so it will be 900, right? So digits will be what? So adding 1 to the last digit, so this will be, digits will be -1, that's the last element. And in that, what will happen is basically we are incrementing it, right? So digits -1, we changed it to be 10, right? So 10 floor division uh, by 10, right? No, it has to be 9, man. It has to be 9. 9, right? Then we would go, so adding 1 to the last digit, that's what we've done. Getting carry is basically 10 modulo 9, right? 10 modulo 9, right? That will give us the carry. And then also replacing last digit with remainder, right? So we will need to do -1, and then with the remainder of what? -1, so it will have to be 9 will give us a remainder of 1, so it has to be 10, right? Because we want it to be 0. Next thing, so continue adding carry to the next is if the right, so if there is carry, of course, right? So if carry, in this case, what happens? uh, 10 divided by 9, will there will be a carry. So for I in digits, of course, we need to loop over the whole dang thing. So right, so if there is a carry, what do we do? we do, but we will have to come back from the reverse, right? Mm-hmm. Continue adding from the second last element to the first, right? So seems like we will have to do it like this, right? So -1, and then if there is a carry, we are coming from the -1, right? So we've already changed it for the second last. Okay, we've done that. Carry, of course it will be something similar, same logic, right? Just the digits. I think it has to be, since we are going from the behind, right? So there is a carry for the last one, so that means it will be applicable for the second last element, right? So in order to do that, we could simply do what, range, I guess. Range, why not, -2 to length of digits, I guess, right? Minus, right, now we know it's going to be I, so that will be -2, and we need to add +1 to this, and digits will be what, minus, do we need that? Nope. I, this will be I, right? Is there a carry again? Right, there will be a carry, of course, right? Because this thing is, but this thing is still 9, right? Oh no, we are already incremented it, right? So there will be no problem in that. I, and then modulo 10, that's it. Next thing is you are everything, right? So everything we've changed it. So if carry is still remaining, carry is still remaining, right? And digits dot find that digit at the beginning, right? But how do we know? Mm, how do we know, like, where to add the carry? This could be the beginning, right? So it could be like, so 8799, right? So it should not increment the first one, it should be the second last, right? So how do we know that? How do we know that at the beginning? It's -1, blah blah blah. We are continuing to add it till the first element. Okay, and then perhaps perhaps dot. Just wondering why there is a dot. This thing minus length of what digits will give us 3. Yep, 3 will be equals to plus equals to 1. If there is carry, of course. Let's see. Our output is 099. This thing is working just fine. Just over here, of course, there is a carry. I mean, we are substituting it, but we are substituting it with what? So this is 10 modulo 10. Right. So this is minus 2 equals to. So we've already done that. Right, plus 1, 10, 10 modulo 9 will be 1. 1 will be the carry. That's just a flag kind of thing, right? And digits I is minus 2. That's what? 10 modulo 10 is, what is it? That will be, should have been 0, but why is it this that's making it? No, this is fine. This is fine. Just this section over here. Just that section over there. So we had to do something about it. Right. So if I see the output right now, seems like the first one is updating. Right. The second one, I'm not so sure. Why? Because this thing is minus 2, right? So minus 2 will be it's 9 plus 1, it's 10, and then there will be a carry, right? The carry is there, that's not doing anything to change it. Then digits I minus 2 modulo 10. Why is this thing not working? That's my only concern. I need to visualize this. Visualize Python. Python tutorial. Paste it there. Visualize execution. Right, okay, we go inside that. Okay. Okay, we incremented that to 10. We got the carry to be 1 and then we replaced it to be 0. Alright, we went inside the loop. Inside the loop. What the hell? Why is this? Why is it directly going over there? That's my concern. Why is this carry not working? Alright. Then it's just returning. That's it. Just does not make sense. Why did it happen? Right. this carry is what, it's 1, right? It should have gone inside here. It's not going inside this. That's the only thing. Right. First, okay, carry is 1. The whole loop itself is not working. Why is that? Seems like that, right? It's not going even inside the loop. Okay, -2 to length of thing. Why is it not going inside there? -2 to minus length of digits. It's 3. Still might not go. Right, let's just do something. Let's do digits only. Digits. DIs. Yes, digits, right. So that loop should only work if there is a carry. Right, but that should be for what? For the second last element, right? So should be for the second last element, and so it has to be something like this. -2 all the way to 0, I guess, right? Copy it, let's paste it, edit the code, Control V, let's just visualize the execution. Right, let's go next. We go inside there. What if we don't even do that, man? Like, just this much. Out of range. Yeah, it will be out of range. Right, we will need key comma v over there, that's for sure. But that could be what? Range from digits. Right, -2 to minus length of digits digits. That should give us 3, right? Yeah. Cannot be interpreted as thing. What can we do? It will have to be a little bit different, because digits, right? We'll have to do it a little bit differently. So second last digit to the first element, right? Seems like I'm starting to forget list iteration. How can we do that? Right. A minus 2 to okay, to minus 5. Okay, minus 1. Okay, what is this? Uh, okay, SAD. It's just reversing it, right? SAD, SAD. Yeah, that's what I want to do as well. Right, that's all I want to do. Arrange digits. Right, minus 2 all the way to the beginning. Just reverse order, that's it. Still list object can't be interpreted as an int. Okay, it's not that problem, it's the other thing. This will have to be a range, though. It will have to be a range. Minus 2. Doesn't range work for minus? Minus 1 to minus 5, perhaps. Yep, this thing. Print I. No, does not it work? Why does not it work? Will it have to be minus 5 to minus 1? Then it will work. Okay. So minus 2. So it has to be other way around. Has to be other way around. Okay. Digits, right? And it will start from the last anyway, right? Whenever we are doing minus. So length of digits will be what? Will be 3, right? So we just want it to be minus, right? But we don't want it to be starting from there. We want it to start from there and then all the way up. What? Uh, the way up to, so it's minus 3 all the way up to 0, I guess. Right, that's the first element in it. So the first element will be 3 minus 3 plus 1. So that will be minus 2. And then if it is a carry, you simply add it and do all those transformation, right? And then next will be 1, right? So 0 will not be inclusive 1, right? So since we are already starting from minus 2, so we don't need to worry about 0 not being inclusive. So that means, so the next range is 1, and there is still a carry, right? So digits high 1. So let's see, from this minus, this will be minus 2, right? Minus 2 will be added again, so this will be 10. 10 divided by this will give us a carry, and then this will be minus 2 is 9, right? So I mean it'll be 10, of course. So we make it into a 0, that's fine. We have a carry again, right? So we are looping again, so this will be what, 1, right? Will that be 1? Yeah, it will be 1. Won't work. Yeah, it won't work. Right, so right, minus length of digit, uh, what will that be? 3 minus 2, that's 9. That's good. Now we've updated this, but we've messed with this. We've not touched this. There won't be a carry in that situation, right? So I think the second loop is doing the damage, because length of digits is 3, right? So first of all it'll be 2, right? It'll be minus 2, right? So in minus 2 it's working just fine, right? Next it's going to be minus 1, so it has to be, skip will have to be, it should not go into positive direction, it should go into negative direction. All right, so minus 2 and then minus 1. It has to be other way around. It should not go like that. In the next iteration it has to change, right? That's the thing, because I can't do thingy. I think the range takes what, help step, right? So -3 and then it's going down, right? Why not go a little bit above? So -2, -3, right? Something like that. I can fix it, but it's not the ideal solution, you know. I can get it to work. Let's just see the solution now. Length of digits -2. Let's see what they are doing. Okay, so it's going to be length of that. So 3 minus 2 is what? 3 minus 2 is 1, up to -1. Okay, and then -1. All right, so it's just stepping over them. That's it. Okay, still a mistake. What happened? So +1. Okay, this thing has to be 10. No, we need to check if it's a carry for that or not. It's a 10 and then okay, I got it. Otherwise, it will always be a carry now. 10. Now it will work. Yeah, right. But to -1, that's like the thing. Why -2? Because we want to start from -2, right? I mean 1 and then that will be 1, right? So the first digit will be 1 and then in that situation there will carry. Let's just look at the, let's just visualize this a little bit. Visualize execution. Let's just go into the next, right? So okay, great. Digits is 10, right? So there is carry. So that's changed to 0. Now we are going into the loop, right? I is 1 as I mentioned, right? So there is carry, right? So hence what do? We look at the first digits I. 1. Okay, yeah, we want the first element, not 0, right? That's why we did to length -2, that, and then skipping over the first element as well. Okay, and then we simply do something similar, make it into a 0, right? There is another loop that comes in. This will be 0 in my opinion, right? Yeah, 0, and then of course there won't be any carry in this case, and that's it. Right, this was a smart part, huh? So length of digit -2. Why did we do -2? Because we will be given 3, but we only want the second part, so we want to skip over. So we know, like, inside the 3 there are 2 different elements, so we want to skip. So since there is already a 0 based index is there, the 0 itself, and we want to skip the first element out of it, so of course we will need to do -1 as well. Another 1 is there, right? And then the last one is the actual element that we want, so it will be 1. Right, but what about if the list size changes? Right, I just want to edit this. Okay, works just fine in that situation as well. What if we do edit the code? Let's change it for 9 again. Visualize the code. I think it will work just fine because we are doing -2 over there, right? So that means the element is 4, will still be -2 because the first element, the first index has already been incremented before the loop, right? So for the another thing, what we are doing, we will get 2 over there, right? So we are getting the length -2, right? What about if we increment the list even further? Visualize execution. So length will increase dramatically, right? So length will increase dramatically. So 6 minus 2, of course it will be this we are subtracting, and then this we are subtracting. So what is this? 6 minus 2 will be 4. Yeah, always that. So we are subtracting this and that basically, right? So that's why it's a dynamic one anyway, even though the list size increases. So after that we will move until -1 we said, but we will go -1, right? So this will be 4, and then we will move on to 4, and then 3, and then 2, and then 1, and then 0, but not until thing, right? So 4 to -1, and then we are just doing -1 in it to decrement it the step. Okay, got it. Let's see. Let's move on to another lesson. All right, what is this secret message? What happened over here? It's already done. Why are you telling me it's not done? Okay, secret message. Okay, encrypt by pushing each letter one step forward. So we could use ASCII ordinal method to push it forward. Okay. So if the character is Z, assign A to the secret. Uh, okay. The only thing that I'm concerned about is, right, so the only thing that I'm concerned about is, even though we get the ordinal, right, ordinal will be, so it has to be between what, 65 and something. Loop through initialize empty string, loop through its character, check if it is alphabet or not. Right, if the character is an alphabet, append. Okay. Right, main runner, loop is there, we've got this function. So if the character is basically Z we need to assign A, right? So if, okay, uh, character, right, character equals Z, so they just want us to do it like this. That's fine. Character equals Z, capital Z. The secret will be capital A, right? This is like a Caesar cipher. So if the character is not Z, else, right, else what do? We simply convert it to character. So we simply add ordinal value of the character we do +1 to it, and then we make it into a character back again, chr, right? So 65 will make it 66, and hopefully that will be B or whatever, right? So we will do that, that's fine. And we could have tested out, like, if character something is ordinal of Z, then do this kind of thing. We could have done that, but that's fine. Loop through each character for I, for character and string. Oh, sorry, this is encrypt, right? So result will be encrypt. Let's copy this. Let's copy that. Let's give the name properly. So if character plus equals to encrypt, right? We want to copy, this has to be character, right? I replaced it mistakenly. So this will be character if character dot is alpha. We will need to check that as well, right? Encrypt is character, else what do? If it is not a alpha, we simply add character to it, right? What is it? Character is alpha, string as no, is alpha, is alpha. Why is there not you? Let's do dir str. What do you have to check is alpha? Is there? Ah, typo. Okay, right. That was easy. Okay, what is this? Theory questions. I don't need to do that. I will move on to problem questions. Problem coding, right? So let's just get the rid of this quickly. Count special characters. Okay. Now what do you want? Special characters. So special characters will be, it turns true if it is alphabet. I know that. Okay, so character counter. Right, so we will need something like sum equals to 0, right? So for I in string, right? So if string dot is alpha, or is digit, that thing again, right. So if it is among them, right, if it is among them, so if it is not, right, so if it is not that, then we do sum plus equals to 1, right? That's it. What the hell? Known? Why is it? For all, right. So over here, it will be false, right, for this condition. It's not a digit, it's not a space, right? So it'll be false, false, false. So had to be false, right? Why did it not work? Why did it not work? Copy. Let's go to our visualization tool, visualize execution. Let's go. What happened? Our input. Input. We will just give this input. Okay. Input is submitted. Let's go, buddy. Okay. Sum is 0. Check H. Oh, we don't need. What a dumb person am I? And no return. That's why. The hell, 22. Just counting the whole dang thing. It's not what we want, right? Okay, it's going over there, inside there, because one of them is true, right? Is alpha is true, so that means true, false. That'll be false, so of course it'll not a good way. Not a good way to do it. Minus, right? So what happened over here is basically this is true, right? So true or false will of course be true. So that means it's I mean there is false over here, right? So what happened over there? Right, this thing should evaluate to as alpha, that will be true, that will be false, that will be false, right? So false or true. Let's add a debugging line right over there. Right, visualize execution, blah blah blah. Next, interpreted. Hello. All right, let's submit that and let's move on to the next. It's through. Right, of course. So it has to be okay. That's what I want. It is E. Right. Okay. visualize it. Let's do hello. Right. Let's go to the last. Oh boy. One. That's good because I gave hello dot right. First one. Let's go. We have the hello inside. We move in, right? So that will be false. Why is that false? What was there any space? We go inside there, we go. That will be false. That will be true. What? Why do we? Oh, there is a return over there. That's why that guy should have been placed over there. Right. Let's do hello dot submit. Let's go to the last one. Okay, it's 6. 66666. Why is that a false? Why is that a false? Right. Does this give out? Should have been like this, right? Dot is it? That's what I expected. Why would I do string, man? Should be I, right? Freaking hell. Right, of course, in that situation, it would be what would it evaluate the whole thing? It would be false, 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 of course, because there is spaces, there is no digits. So it's false in that regard as well. So that's true and true. Who cares, right? Should work. Yep. Freaking hell. But hey, mm, in this case, I'm just wondering. So let's just say I equals to this thing, right? So that's my thing. And if I copy this, then what would it result in? It has to result in false. Right. I just wanted to check for individual. So is alpha false? Everything will be false over here, I guess. I think there is something called all, I guess. It's not iterable. Okay. Okay, let's just leave it as it is. Okay. Okay, let's go into another problem. Fizzbuzz problem. Right. So what do you need to do? So write a program that returns a string representation of numbers 1 to n. String representation. Okay, but instead of number that are divisible by 3, it should print fizz. Instead of number that is it should print buzz. Okay, not a big deal. Right. Input will be what? 9. Okay. So if what shall we return? We need to return a list, huh? So return, right? So return, and if can we do it with list iteration? Yep. So I for I and n range n, of course, right? So 1 to n plus 1 if I is not I modulo 3 is not equals to 0, right? Else we print fizz. Can I do elif? I just don't like nesting too much things in it. Let's just do it easier with them. LST equals to this, right? So for I in range, right? Let's just break it down, paste. All right. So if this is this, if it is, I mean, equals 3, we simply do what if, right? So lst dot append what fizz fizz append elif I modulo 5 equals 0. We simply do buzz. I mean buzz, yeah, that's it. Buzz. Else, what about 15? Just wondering about that, huh? 15, because it will be fizz in that situation because it's divisible by 3. Okay, what happens in that situation? Of course, we will be giving out fizz in our case, but the problem does not say anything, right? So hopefully we won't be given any number that is divisible by both. Hopefully. But and what I what is this fizz? Why is it failing? Should not have failed. 4 buzz and then fizz and then 7 8 and then fizz. Looks somewhat same to me. What's the issue? Buzz 11 and then 15 is what? Looks same. Why would you fail? Ah, has to be a string data type, that's it. Nothing else. Just had to convert this thing into a string, that's it. Great. Let's submit it. Let's move on to the next unique characters, right? So complete the function. So given the string, find the return the index of the first character that is not repeated. First character that is not repeated. Okay. First character that is not repeated. Index, string, right? So if I in string, of course I will need key comma v for that. I may range will be 0 comma length of this guy, right? I will need that plus 1, and then if I in string from what, from anything after that or before it, after it, right? So I then then we simply return I mean if not in, right? Let's see what happened. In string requires string as a left operand, not int. What do you mean? Plus one, right? So it'll be 1, of course, requires string as a left. In operator, huh? That's what it's complaining about. Why? Why? Okay, explain it. Mm, That is 0. All right, so 0 plus 1 should have been fine. Right. Let's see. type error. Why did that happen? My mind is not working, huh? Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. Not. So it has to be string I. Right, whether that is there or not the int in string. All right. 0, 1, 2, 3. Z is the unique one, right? So our output is what? So string 0 P, right? So P is not in. It is there. It is there. Right. P is there. That should return what the one expected that. Right. I right. So next loop comes in. It'll be one string. One is R. R is not in that. Won't be satisfied. It will have to move on to the next one. But I'm not sure how the condition. Let's do that as well. Just to check it, right? It works just fine, just a lower. And that's what was messing it up. Oh, still so many problems to go. Split the bill. Okay, not a big deal. Tax rate is this much. Amount person, bill splitting. Return, right? Amount plus divide by 100. Right, that's the amount. And that should be split among the number of person, right? Person, check code. What happened? What is it? So we'll get a bill if the tax rate is this. How much should each of the pay equally? Amount is what? What the hell? So you're doing like 50 and then you're doing it like that. plus amount into, right, check code should work. Yep. Okay, palindrome, if it's palindrome or not. Okay, so in order to check this, given a string of n size, check if it is palindrome by removing all the spaces and special characters, and then we check it, right? So of course we will need a temp string, temp str equals to blank, right? So let's just loop this, clean this string first of all. For I in string, all right. So if I dot is alpha, do you even need to do that? I don't think so. I don't think so. String equals to string if not, does is alpha, or what, I dot is digit, right? Okay, now we have our string, I guess, and then we simply do return string equals string, and then we do this -1, right? Check code. What is this? Invalid syntax. So uh, can't be done like a thing, right? I'm not sure if we can do this or not, huh? I'm not sure. Could use join dot join, right? I mean, what I could have done is just keep it as it is, dot join. Right. Next thing is that let's make everything into a lower string as well, right? What is this? False string is palindrome expected output. Okay. Uh, String is palindrome, right? String is palindrome. If this, right, else what is not palindrome, I guess. Not. Okay, this n has to be small, huh? Check code. String is palindrome. This thing, huh? So Hmm. Why am I even doing that? Not. Let's use another trick to do. Is alphanumeric. Don't need this. So if it is alphanumeric, then we will do it. Right. Works just fine. Arshad number. When the number itself is divisible by the sum of the digits in the number. Okay. So right, we will be given a number and then the sum of it. Number itself is divisible by the sum of the digits in the number. Okay. So 8 plus 1 is 9 and then, okay, not a big deal. Right. So let's just put this thing somewhere over here. Right, like this. So these are the string characters that we need to print out or just return. Right. And mm, a right. If so, we will need to make it into a string. The number should be string, and then the first part it can be done, but I think a while loop will be better for this scenario. String, right? So if we are given three different numbers, then what do we do? That's my concern on this problem. Okay, so it could be done like this. It's not a big deal, but this will only work for 2 digits number, right? Right. So string, and then we can get we will need some kind of mid value. Is it that complicated though? I'm not so sure. Right. Let's try simple way first of all. Return yes if str number uh right 0 plus this will have to be a hint, right? Right, and then number modulo modulo something similar. All right, so modulo the first part and then the second part will that. Right. String has to be divided into what? Maybe this will be length of so that thing is there, right? Let's just put it somewhere else. Let's improve readability. The first part will be something like this. Second part will be right. So TR number will be. Let's do it like this because we will need that, right? So str number str underscore num, and the first part to get that can simply do length of str number floor division by 2, I guess, right? So this will be 18 floor division. I mean, 2 floor division 2 will be of course 1. Right, 3 floor division 2 will be 1, will be 2. Next will be just the remainder bit. That's it. Same thing. The second part will be the remainder. That's it, right? This will be the remainder. Right now we know that. All right. So if the number is number modulo first plus second, right, equals 0, that means it's perfectly divisible. That means we return yes, else we return no. All right. Let's check the code. What happened? Jabber open types the string. Okay. Okay. Just a silly mistake. Not a big deal. Right. Oh, one other mistake. Let's see. Int. What happened? First and second is what? First and second is the number is what? Ah, it's a string. Let's just convert it into int. Not a big deal for us. Oh, it's already a string, is it? 315. So 3, that will be 2. All right. So it will have to, we will have to add it. Add it, add it, add it. Why would we need to do all this thing, man? Just can loop over it. Number right. So then what we can do is maybe we can simply create a list. LST equals to I for int right, I for I in Right, that's just the list. Right, and then that's it. It's done basically. The problem is solved. Sum of LST. Right, that's it. Sum of the numbers. That's it. Easy. Why am I even making it so hard? Okay, so is Armstrong, right? So in this, what do we need to do? Armstrong is a number where the sum of the cube of each digit is equal to the original number. Okay. What is this? Something similar? Okay, not a big deal for us, right? LST equals to. Mm, 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 mm. So number will be a string, I guess. You make it into a list. No, we need to transform it. Int I for I in number. Right, that's a transformed list. We need to sum it up to get the sum, and then we need to return what? Return, right, return it is an Armstrong number, or it is not an Armstrong number. Right, so let's write our logic over here. So if sum of LST else, right? So if sum of lst cube root equals int of numbers, right? Number, that's it. That's the only logic that's required, I guess. Oh, it's not Armstrong, blah 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 blah. It says it's an Armstrong number, but why is it not there? 3 plus 7 plus 11, 11 to the power cube, 11 to the power cube. 3 is what? 1 3 3 3 1. 3 3 3 will be 9. 9 cube is what? 729. Sum of cube of each digit is equal to original number. Okay. So we could simply do 3, I guess. Right, and then we could simply do sum like that. Should work. Yep. Right, so it's individual digit, not the whole thing. Not a big deal. Count the number of same words in a sentence, right? So Captain America is off. Okay, so maybe a frequency kind of thing. Right, so frequency return FREQ. Right, so that will be a empty dictionary, let's say. Right, and for in string, right, if not I in, if I not in frequency, you simply do frequency string, I mean I, right, equals 1, else what else? Else if it is there, we simply do plus I, right? What happened? I should be thing. It should be a less split. Captain is 2, America is things, so should be lower. Okay, I dot lower. Can I assign a function call? You can say I dot lower, maybe somewhere like that. I dot lower, right? What happened? Lower works, but what happened? Captain, if it is there or not, everything is 1, right? Everything is 1. If it is not there, it's 1. Then after that, but it's already there, right? After that, it's there. After that, it's America. And just the order, that's the thing, that's it. Otherwise, everything else is good. Oh, seems like we need to clean this thing as well. We need to check for that as well. Let's just do some cleaning work before we get everything. Clean string will be I dot lower for I in string. Right. Uh, dot split split that will give us that. Let's do clean str, I guess. Clean str frequency dot lower is not required in my opinion. Right, even this thing will not work because we still need to catch an edge cache. Right, he said, right, so there is multiple key over here, but otherwise everything else is fine. This thing will pass, that's for sure. He, right, so it has to be, it's lower and it's splitted, right? So there is a he thing as well. So we know there is a value over there, and split is done, right? Split is done. That means we will be getting before we even do a split, right? We need to create a new string, basically. Okay, so let's just make it into a I for I in string if split will be required, right? If uh, I dot is alpha space, I guess. List object has no attribute split, of course. Of course. Let's we just make it into a string. But that will require a join, right? Join. Right. Have to make it back into a string. Right. String. Or I can simply do a join directly over here. Right. Dot join. All right. Let's run it. Yay! Works just fine. Yay! Next lesson, fuel the car. Okay, fuel the car. Let's fuel it. Needs 10 more fuel than the distance it covers. Right. Okay, minimum is 100. Okay, require total fuel. We need to return couple. Okay, other thing, right? Fuel. So let's understand the logic first of all. Right. Okay. Okay, kilometers is given, right? So 310 uh, So this thing is basically what this thing will be. Seems like that thing will be kilometers times 10, and whatever that comes out to be times 10 minus 100. That's it. Seems like that. Is it okay? It could be. It could be minimum of this or 0 or not minimum or so if it is 50 it has to be 0. If it is 0, okay, there has to be this. If kilometers that or 0, can I try that? Right, of course it will choose that. Max, that's it. Yay, we solved it, but let's see how they did it. Okay, if it is into thing, and then if it is less than thing, okay, I did it a little bit easier way. All right, so sum of odd and even. Okay, given this stuff and the sum of evens, odd, okay, not a big deal. Right, so on sum, right, I for I have this if I is perfectly divisible by 2 equals to 0. Right, then what else we need to do? Copy, paste it. This has to be not equals to 0. That's it. All right, that's done. Duplicate character, right. That occur more than once. But if there are more than one, what do we do? Okay, let's just assume that since this guy are not saying anything, right? So let's just assume, right? So if I in if string dot count I is greater than 1, right, we simply do string dot count I, right, invalid syntax. Where is that? Why did not it work? Programiz, of course, there is all unique, so it has to be 1, but why did it return 2? greater than 1. Uh, Can't I simply do a thing, split and then make it into a set for a dictionary counter kind of thing and then just get the thing, but it has to be characters, huh? Isn't it? It has to be characters. So it has to be what? String sets equals to set string. Right, string. Let's just see the solution. What they have done for counter duplicate string, blah blah blah, is alpha, blah blah blah, and then if it's not duplicate, right? So if it is there or not, and then we counter it. So counter is greater than 1, and then if it is not in duplicate characters, okay, not bad. Great. We check if it's thing or not. We have a counter, and then if it is greater than, if it is alpha, and if it is greater than 1, right, and if it is not in duplicate characters, right, we can increase the counter. Why would you need counter? Okay, we need counter, huh? And we need to add it to the duplicate characters. Okay. Right. So I was planning to do it with the set and everything, but yeah. Abundant numbers. Right. You need to print abundant number is any number whose proper factors sum is greater than the number itself. Okay. So if the abundant number is any number whose proper factors, right? So what is it? 9, 9. 9 plus 9, okay. I just don't understand the question properly. Let me just try to get the thing. Thing, no code, please. Okay, what 12? Right, proper division is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and sum of that. Okay, so we will need something like a list kind of thing, right? So let's say factors list, right? So factors equals to this, right? So for uh, I in each, of course it will have to be one from number till number, right? And then I don't need the factors as well, just sum, I guess, 0, right? So if I is perfectly if number is perfectly divisible by I, right? So if it is perfectly divisible by I equals 0, we just get the sum out of it. Sum plus equals to I, right? That's the sum. And then at the end, what we need to do, we need to tell if it is abandoned number or not. Abandoned, not abandon. Right. Then copy this thing as well. If something else less, right? So if sum is greater than the number, hopefully the number is an int, else there will be a complaint. Okay, these. Okay, that's how we can solve this. Not a big deal. Let's move on. What is this? Sum of digits in two numbers. So true if the sum of digits in both parameters are same. False. What does that mean? Why is this true? That takes two integer parameters, checks if sum of digits. Okay. Sum of digits. So it will be int, right? Let's make it into a list. Let's do a sum outside. Why am I even using parentheses? I don't need to return a tuple, right? I just need true and false. That's it. So equals equals. First of all, since there is int that's coming on, right? So we will make it into a list, right? Okay, Control Z. First number, or we can. Ah, man, don't you dare give me the answer for this, right? So we will need to make it into a string. First of all, made it into a list. I for I in. So let's just int for this, right? So copy, paste it. I guess copy, paste it, right? Check code. Great. Right. You see what I did over there? Just converted it into a list, get the sum. That's it. Right. Given repeat the vowel letters up to a given number. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Right. Okay. We'll need the index value. Huh? Seems like that's my first choice in this problem. For k comma v, range. I mean, of course, in string we can't use k comma v. So say for I in range what 0 to length of string, right? Not inclusive of that. Right. So temp string is there. So I if string I in this a e i o u a e i o u. So if it is there, right? So it is there, so we will need to add for j in range n minus 1. Right, 2 minus 1, 3 minus 1 will be 2, so 0 and 1 will run, right? And then inside that we simply do str plus equals whatever the value is, right? And then outside over here we simply do temp string plus equals to string I. I might have to check for alpha and spaces maybe, but let's see. Return. Why don't I forget to return anything? Okay, it has to be the whole thing because we want to include the e, na? That's why. Yeah. Okay, numbers in a string, so we just need to count that. Right, so let's just have some. Right. Can we do it from a list iteration kind of perspective? So I for I in yeah, can be done. Can be done very easily. A single return statement should do the job. Length. Okay, we just simply get the length for I in string, right? So if I dot is a digit, right? If you just get the length of it, that's it. Camel case to snake case. Okay, not a big deal. We will need a temporary string. So temp string equals to blank. Let's just to return temp string, right? And then over there, what do? We check, right? So for I in string, right? So if I, of course, we will need the range 0 comma length of string, right? So if I equals 0, what do we do? Do you think the first character will always be that? But let's just handle it now. Str equals to the test case might have it, but even then, right? So else, right? So else what? Do we even need to do this? So maybe we can simply do string 0, right, directly, right? And then of course we won't be modifying anything over there, so we'll just do plus anyway, right? So we can simply start from 1 directly after that, so we don't even need this basically, right? So we are starting from 1 up to the length, right? So then, so if I dot is upper, right? So if I mean string I is upper, right? So if it is upper, then we will have to add thing temps, just the thing str, right, str plus equals to what, underscore, I mean, and like this, and then outside it we also need to do to add, we simply need to do plus equals to this thing, string character, whatever the character is, right? What happened? Output, hello world. Okay, we have to make it small, lower, everything will be lower. Great, let's check code, should work. Let's see the output is upper index is not equals to 0, and then enumerate in string, huh? I thought it did not work. Okay, if it is upper, then it's doing something, otherwise it's just adding to the character. Okay, and then just lowering, and then that's it. We handle it differently, that's fine. Lapindrome number. All right. I just hate it when there is so much longer number that we need to return. All right. So when split in middle gives halves having the same characters and same frequency of each character. 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Same character, okay. If can we do it directly though? I don't think so. It will take a little bit of transformation and all. If so, we will need the length of it. Length of number. All right, so in this case it's 7, right? So what floor divisions, how much? We know it's 7. 2, right? So that will give us 7, that means 3, right? So up to 3 it has to be same, right? So numbers until that and reverse, right? So if that equals up to 3, and then something similar, all right, something similar, but what, so this will give us 3. If we were to do remainder of it, so something from then on, right? From then on, or even just minus or something, just then on should be good. All right, so this plus length of number modulo 2 will be what? 731, right? So this will be from 4 onwards. Let's check the code. Expected else. Okay, over here it looks like we need to sort the number as well, right? So I think that will give us what? List, right? So this is to sort it as well. So that will make that test case pass, I guess, but it still won't solve us the problem with the first test case. Okay, it worked. Right, because this is 1 2 3, this is 3 2 1, that's why. Okay, great. Calculate BMI should not be a big deal, man. All right, return what? Return weight divide by height to the power square. That's it. What happened? Normal weight, obese, blah blah blah. Okay, there is a criteria for this. Oh my god, why does it have to be so hard? BMI equals to, right? Right, of course we know the BMI already, so I'm not going to do it like that. Of course I'm going to get this from here, right? And check the code. That's it. I'm not going to change anything. Just a thingy, just grabbing the letters from there. Reverse the odd length words. Okay, string split, right? So I for and split if length of I is equals, I mean length of I modulo 2 equals 0, else what do we do? Else -1, right? That thing is reversed, so we just run string, check code. What happened? Let's do it like this. Check code. What's the issue? That's invalid syntax. Let's take it to my compiler. Invalid syntax. I've been coding for a lot. That's why maybe I'm not seeing it properly. So I will just have to change this. Control Control V, right? That should what they want us to join it. Okay. Dot join join, right? So it should be a space in the middle, I guess. Yep, that's done. Let's move on. Square the numbers in a list in ascending order. So square it first of all. Input numbers are always in ascending order. Okay, so we simply need to do lst equals to square for I in lst. Right, that's it. Squaring is done. Then we simply need to return sorted lst. Check code. Yep, that's it. What's that? Start with specific letters. Okay. Return a list. I for I in string dot split, right? If I dot uh, starts with what letter, right? Yep. Most common last vowel. Okay, that counts. Most common vowel that words end with right. So I will need something like a frequency counter kind of thing. Vowel equals to the vowel. Maybe we got the vowel right, and then for I in string, but if I dot ends with ends with EIOU, EIOU, right? If it ends with that, then we do vowels, and then vowels and I minus 1 dot lower right, plus equals to 1, right, whatever the value is, get that, and then we do plus 1 in it. Okay, and then return return the max based on the values, huh? Uh, okay, we can simply return max, right? And max will be my particular dictionary, comma, e will be my dictionary dot get, right? And that's it. 0. I'm not sure how they did it. Oh, right. Let's see how they did it. Vowels, they defined it. Split counter variable, and then basically they did that. And okay, they are looping through it, and then if it is a value is max, then it returned key, right? Counter is basically whatever the word is minus get right, word minus 1, and which should do the job, right? And then just counter, and then word minus 1. What about lower? Word list is always lower, is it? There is I. It'll always be a thing. No need to worry about the lower. Okay, I minus 1. Right, so that will be let's just do a sign, and then let's copy this thing, right? This will be a better approach. Seems like our this thing is not working, otherwise this thing should be working. Okay, even with this thing, right? So it could be our just that thing is not working, right? So of course we could do something like this, just return the key at the very end, right? So we could basically do vowels copy, right? So dot items, and then if the value is equal to max ended. What is max ended? Max ended, okay. Just the max among, don't need that. We can simply do max. That will be copy, that will be same, right? So let's just check. Vowels dot items, do you mean vowel? Yes, I mean vowel. Vowel, vowel, vowel. Even then, seems like there is a issue somewhere. Right over here, huh? Has to be this then. Is it that? There is no word na. I. Let's just copy the whole thing. I don't want to spend another time looking at that. Okay, what do we need to do? Okay, punctuation and letter casing. Now write a Python program that cleans. Okay, maybe I'll just write a Python program that cleans the string in such a way that it becomes readable. Remove extra spaces from both ends. Capitalize. Okay, dot improve English. Great, 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 great. Lot of string cleaning, man. String, right? So if uh, enumerate, enumerate string, right? So we will need string equals to this thing, v comma v, right? Return new underscore string, and k comma v will be if k equals 1 or 0, it will have to be plus equals to v dot upper, right? Else it will have to be lower. Right, and at the very end, what we can do is -1 equals to -1 equals to, or at the very end, plus equals to something like full stop. Maybe check, might fail. Okay, works. That's fine. Is it a sequence? Maybe. 5, okay. Perfect sequence. Mm. Is there any way to do it easily? I could check for the current index and then the next index and the difference between them. Ascending or not a sequence at all. right? So it could be numbers 1 minus numbers 0, right? So if I in numbers list, right? So if difference equals to right, difference equals to number list, so it will have to be something like this: number list I plus 1 minus I, right, I will keep that one like that, or even the range should do the job. Range length numbers list, right? So this should equal to difference every time, right? So this should be true. I mean, if not equals to, return false. Control Z, copy somewhere outside here. What am I doing? Why am I doing even if for? Right. If it meets it, we simply do true. Operand blah 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 minus this thing for string. Okay, why are you string buddy? List object has no attribute. Split, is it? So you're already giving me a list or what? Okay, then I'll just transform it into an int. What is even there, man? Okay, great. Alright, it works as fine as expected. Course completed. Thank you. Will be emailed. Thank you very much. Okay, all these things are done finally. Completed. Okay, what was that? I'm sorry. Okay, interview questions and everything is done. What's next? Complexity calculation. These are all done. Done. Okay, I am done with this. Finally. Yeah, that's it for today, right? We are finally done. Took me 3 hours to get it done. Oh my God. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Take care. Bye bye.